Hey bees, I'm Marie from Humblebee and Me, and today we are continuing our holiday 2019 making season with this beautiful cranberry orange whipped emulsified sugar scrub. The base of this sugar scrub is mostly inexpensive fractionated coconut oil, accented with a bit of cranberry seed oil, and then thickened up with some cetearyl alcohol. The base also contains two emulsifiers, some Polawax and some Polysorbate 80, and so that means that when the scrub encounters water in the tub or in the shower, it will self-emulsify with the water that you're bathing with, so it turns into a bit of a lotiony scrub on your skin, but also rinses off beautifully. The scrubby element comes mostly from granulated sugar, but I have also included just a touch of cranberry seeds, just a little bit. It gives a beautiful punch of color, little kind of red dots throughout the scrub. Because this scrub doesn't contain any water, it doesn't strictly need a preservative, but because there is the potential for contamination, I encourage you to consider sort of where it's going to end up when you decide if you want to include a preservative or not. If you're not going to include a preservative, you need to make sure that the scrub does not get wet throughout use. So what I like to do is to scoop out a tablespoon or two of the scrub into a small plastic leftover container. Take that into the bath or the shower with me, use that all up in one go and discard anything that is left over, because of course if you're in the bath or the shower and you're dipping wet hands in it, it's going to get wet. If you're going to be gifting this to friends or family who you think might forget to do that, I would recommend including a preservative. So 0.5% of liquid Germall Plus will do the trick, and you can knock that 0.5% off of the fractionated coconut oil to make room for it. This scrub's pretty easy to make. We're basically going to melt together the base ingredients, cool them enough that we start to gain a bit of viscosity, and then we can whip in the sugar. You do want to make sure that your final whipping is at room temperature, so the scrub has its best chance for staying fluffy throughout its life. Do remember, of course, that the viscosity of the scrub is going to be impacted somewhat by the ambient temperature, so if it ends up spending a bunch of time somewhere very cold or very hot, you are going to notice a change in the whippiness of the product. It can either melt or really quite solidify, so do take care to keep it sort of around room temperature. All right, let's go make a beautiful cranberry orange whipped emulsified sugar scrub. We'll begin by combining the ingredients for our heated phase in a small bowl that we can whip our product in. So make sure you're choosing one that has deep enough sides that you can get a mix master beater in there. So you're going to need 5 grams of Polawax, 12 grams cetearyl alcohol, 4 grams Polysorbate 80, 17.75 grams fractionated coconut oil, and 10 grams cranberry seed oil. Up next, we're going to melt our base together. So we're going to pop this in a water bath. So this is a small saucepan that has about 1 inch or 3 centimeters of water in the bottom of it. And I'm going to go pop this on the stovetop over medium heat for about half an hour to melt everything through. Once the base of the sugar scrub has melted, you can remove your pot from the heat, and then you can remove your little bowl from the water bath. So our next step is to cool this down a bit. We of course need it to be cool and sort of solid in order for us to whip it, but we also need it to be cooled so that we can incorporate our cool down ingredients. So I've got a ice bath next to me here, which I'm going to pop this in and give it a stir to help it cool down. So this ice bath is really just a bowl with a puck of ice in it and some water. You can use ice cubes. Pretty simple concept. Now if you notice it really start to set up immediately, as I did, you can just kind of bounce the bowl in and out of the ice bath, stirring and reincorporating in the sort of wispy white bits that you'll get that'll start to solidify. Now that this has cooled down a bit, we're going to add our cool down phase ingredients. So you're going to need 1/4 gram of vitamin E oil and 0.5 gram of either orange essential oil or a suitable fragrance of your choice. I am using cranberry salsa fragrance oil, which smells divine and is quite theme appropriate. Now seeing this start to get quite cloudy and a bit mealy looking, I dare say it is time for us to break out our beaters and start whipping this. To whip this, I'll be using a electric mix master beater thing with just one beater. With a sort of soft, semi-solid consistency, we're ready to add our sugar. So you're going to need to add 50 grams of granulated sugar. All right, so this is looking lovely and whippy and beautiful, but we do want this to be fully at room temperature before we declare it done. We want to make sure that the final whipping is done at room temperature so that we can be assured that we will continue to keep our lovely, soft, fluffy scrub consistency. So I'm going to leave this here to cool for a while. All right, so I've left the scrub for about an hour. You can see it's kind of seized up a wee bit, so we want to whip it again, but it is fully at room temperature at this point in time, so we pretty much just need this one final whipping and then we're ready to pop it in our container. We're also going to add 1/2 gram of cranberry seeds. These add a lovely bit of color and a extra oomph to our cranberry theme. The reason we're only using 1/2 gram is because they are quite aggressive scrubby things, so we don't want a lot or it could be a little too much for the skin. Now all that's left to do is to package the scrub up. This is a 100 milliliter jar from Humblebee. You want to make sure you're not really packing the mixture into your jar because of course we want it to stay nice and light and whippy. We've got a little bit extra here we can use for a demo. Before we do a use demo, I wanted to compare our just made, just packaged version here to a version that was packaged a couple days ago. So you can just see how the consistency changes when it does sit for a while. You can see that it's still really quite soft, but this one is a little bit softer. So it's gonna set up a little bit, but nothing too crazy. And so to see how this works and how it will emulsify, self-emulsify, get a little bit of water in there. You can see it turns into a white, creamy, scrubby substance. That's the emulsifying happening. So that'll happen in your bath as you use it. And there you go. You just made a lovely cranberry orange whipped emulsified sugar scrub. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe and please remember to go down to the description box below this video to get more information about this project. There you'll find everything written out, the amounts in metric and in percent, so you can scale it to any size that you want. Links to places to purchase all of the ingredient information on preservatives, shelf life, just tons of great additional information, plus a discount code so you can save a bit of money on that cranberry seed oil. Thank you so much, and I'll see you next time.